Tom, I don't know if this is the best time to like bring this up, but I noticed some like damage around the studio. There's like holes all over the place, like here in my podium.
With the marathon and Jake's out sick and everything, I haven't had a chance to do anything, no.
Well, you're in luck, Tom. I know someone we could call.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
Oh, Toodles!
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Come one, come all to see the Disney Park Sideshow. Your eyes won't believe what they're seeing. Witness the one-armed Disney princess. Her arm was once white as snow. Now it's as invisible as the maintenance team.
Pin trader. Hold the pin trade.
Pin, a professional.
They do. The cast members that hold the pin trading. I don't know what they.
They do not, Tom. Don't ruin my dream. Pin trader. Not on it.
This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Here now, the news for December 1st, 2023. But before that, do you have an unnatural compulsion to open the My Disney Experience app and check Disney attraction wait times when you're sitting at home? Well, now thanks to the minds behind MagicBandReaders.com, you can get your very own park-inspired wait time sign to display on your desk, your countertop, or wherever you feel the need to check those wait times. These wait time signs wirelessly connect to the internet and display the actual posted wait time of your favorite attractions. You can select from a number of rides and shows at the parks, and then the sign will show you what the wait time is for it. If you're counting down the days to your next trip, the display can be configured to be a vacation countdown clock as well, or a regular clock with both 12 and 24-hour formats. The vacation countdown feature will even remind you when it's time to make those dining reservations at the 60-day mark. And if you purchase before December 31st, a special additional feature will be included for free. In addition to attraction wait times, you also get character meet and greet wait times. And because these signs are internet connected, they can be updated automatically as new rides, experiences, and more open at the park, so the sign will never be outdated. There are 6 different signs available. There's Magic Kingdom, EPCOT, what we have right now, Hollywood Studios, which is an homage to the Sorcerer's Hat, if you remember that, unless I'm the oldest man on YouTube. I might be. As well, Disney's Animal Kingdom at Walt Disney World, and then Disneyland and California Adventure as well, and each wait time sign will show all the attractions from said park. And if you order through the link we are providing and use promo code NEWS15, you'll save 15% off the regular price of all wait time signs and as well those Magic Band readers. There is the link. And you can see right now the wait time for Rise of the Resistance at what, 2:15 on a Friday is 65 minutes. It's been pretty chill lately. It's been pretty chill. I don't know how the rest of the park is. How's Rock and Roller Coaster? 50. Wow. Anyway, there you go. Let's talk about something else on my desk, shall we? Over a year after his arrival was first announced, the Hatbox Ghost has joined the happy haunts of the Haunted Mansion at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. Although remember, he's not a happy haunt, and that's how we justify him not being the 1,000th ghost, said Disney. Guests can now encounter the Hatbox Ghost next to the Endless Hallway, in the Endless Hallway scene, standing beside that never-ending passage and grinning at guests as they ride by in their doom buggies. This makes him the first specter that guests actually see on the ride, appearing before the narrator states that happy haunts are beginning to materialize. Despite not appearing in Hatbox Ghost concept art and raising concerns, the floating candelabra does remain in the Endless Hallway. Meanwhile, the Donald Duck chair did not return with the ghost, although a similar chair remains in the library scene, which of course is only in some versions of the attraction, but it is in Florida. Instead of the chair, a door is behind the Hatbox Ghost, and a cart of hat boxes with a lantern on top is next to him. Additionally, a few suitcases were added outside the doors in the Endless Hallway. He's a bit of a traveler, I suppose. That's why he has a hat box. I don't know. I haven't gotten to see it in person yet. You know, it's there. I don't know about the placement. No one likes the placement, but Nonetheless, something interesting happened on Instagram. WDI posted the entire project team behind this, and people automatically commented this many people it took to put the Hatbox Ghost in. No, it actually was quite a large team that worked over the last several months. It's been quite a while to refurbish the mansion and bring it up to standard. So you may have known over the past year or more, I think it's been more than a year, one at a time, the audio animatronic figures have been vanishing from the ride, and then they come back and they look great. That's not magically happening. That's this entire team at WDI that's been really putting a lot of TLC into the mansion. So regardless how you feel about the Hatbox Ghost, I think they did a great job cleaning up the attraction, and kudos to them for at least that. And again, you got to remember, like WDI, they're hired to do a job, right? And if Magic Kingdom comes to them and says, we want the Hatbox Ghost, and they're like, well, you want to put in the same spot, right? And they're like, well, no, that costs more money. We want it here. You know, WDI can fight with them all day, but again, WDI is essentially a contractor hired by the park to do a job. So, you know, I saw people on that Instagram post yelling at WDI and the people that worked on this about it. It's not their fault. They worked on it, but it doesn't mean it was their decision. Keep that in mind. So, don't shoot the messenger, right? They did what they were asked to do, and they did it to the best of their ability. After a months-long leak caused significant damage to the exit walkway of the Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom, Disney is finally attending to the problem. The broken cobblestones are on the pathway leading out of the mansion. When we first spoke to cast members about the walkway last month, they noted the cobblestones were loose and they were sometimes seeing water spring up from the cracks, posing a threat to themselves and the guests who walked in the area. But as of Thursday, some of the broken pavement has been torn up, and for now it's been replaced with a flat black board, apparently as a temporary solution. The board is near the exit gate of the mansion property, and the cobblestones around it still have bad cracks, but they're doing one section at a time, it would appear. So the mansion refurbishment project has now moved on to the exterior. A water reflection effect has been added back to the famous Phoenician scene on Spaceship Earth at EPCOT. The effect has been missing for several years, seemingly since the 2007-2008 update of the attraction. Ex-user Frank Makes Stuff noticed the return of the effect and shared a video, which you're looking at now. It comes on a landscape scene across the main set piece of the Phoenician section. We, of course, hopped on Spaceship Earth to see the reflection for ourselves. The dark water, quote-unquote, below the mountains now appears to reflect light back from the tiny village. According to a cast member, they simply added plastic that looks like moving water. Of course, I mean, this is an effect that was developed for the attraction in the 80s. It didn't need to be complicated, especially in a dark scene. It doesn't matter. Not to minimize the effect that was achieved, but plenty of those effects in rides are pretty simple things. The scene originally had a miniature boat floating in the water too, but that was removed in 2007 also. Martin's videos included the mini boat, but not the water reflection in his 2014 video of the current version of Spaceship Earth, but both are missing from his 2017 video about the 2007 update. And since the water is across from the main scene at this part of the ride, most people don't even look this way, and certainly not in ride videos, but it's nice to see this little thing restored. I'm glad someone's looking at this, and I know we've pushed off essentially two versions of this Spaceship Earth update at this point, and I don't know how much longer this ride can survive without an update, because I know there's a lot of necessary maintenance to the track and such that needs to be done, the structure itself. They keep putting off. You know, I'm obviously, as a fan, I'm very concerned about what they will do to the show scenes, but at the same time, I think it's time to just get the work done, probably. Bruce the Shark has swam back onto the mural of the Seas with Nemo and Friends at EPCOT, bringing the refurbishment of the mural, it seems, to an end. Work began on the facade with the removal of the seagull figures in September, then moved to the mural and the building's roof, which was repainted. Actually, the whole building was repainted. Many of the character cutouts were removed from the three-dimensional mural at the attraction's entrance to be refurbished. The largest characters, including Crush and Mr. Ray, were missing for the longest. Bruce the Shark was the last cutout to return. He looks to be the same light blue color he was before. The only characters who were repainted with a new color were Nemo and Marlin. Their cutouts were previously yellow, but they are now a reddish-orange, closer to their color in the film. It's probably they faded to that, is probably what actually happened. A couple of other small fish have also returned since our last look at the facade. And while the refurbishment of the mural appears to be finished, one part of the overall refurbishment project is not. The water effects around the seagulls, which return this month, and pavilion sign haven't been turned back on yet, maybe because they're still being refurbished. Only time will tell. We talked about this when they started the project. I'm overjoyed to see the original color of the building restored. I still think it's a travesty to have that beautiful mural covered by these cartoon fish. I hate that. I really dislike it. Tim Delaney did a beautiful mural under there, which it's just burned into my memory, that sunset on the ocean. And then I don't like the seagulls on the rock. I know people like the seagulls. Oh, it's cute. I know, but it's such a beautiful building, and it was such a quaint, charming, you know, and honestly beautiful entrance to that pavilion before that. Like, you know, I don't mind the cartoon characters being there. I don't need them plastered all over the front of the building, right? Think about them. Think about if they just plastered, like, I'm trying to think of another pavilion with cartoon characters. Think about the three caballeros were just like, cutouts of them were just plastered all over the Mexico pyramid, right? That wouldn't feel right either. So I don't know if it feels right here, but at least we got the building color back out of that ugly blue. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to the Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. And the best part is their concierge services are 100% free, so book today. The celebrity narrator lineup for this year's Candlelight Processional at EPCOT has been altered, as Ann-Margret and Simu have been removed from the schedule. Ann-Margret was initially scheduled for November 28th and 29th, while Simu was slated for November 30th through December 2nd. They were replaced on the official Walt Disney World website with Ashley Eckstein and Bart Millard, respectively. Obviously, Ashley Eckstein's dates have already passed, but Ann-Margret did participate in the processional on November 28th, but then was replaced on November 29th. So this doesn't affect the rest of the lineup for the year, but Bart Millard will be there through December 2nd. Two American former Walt Disney World cast members are suing Disney and Patina Restaurant Group after they were allegedly fired to be replaced with Italian cast members at the Italy Pavilion in EPCOT. The World Showcase pavilions are traditionally populated by international cast members as part of Disney's Cultural Representative Program. The program was suspended in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And until Q1 and J1 visa workers could return, Americans and green card holders worked at the pavilions instead. The Cultural Representative Program eventually resumed in August of 2022. According to Court Watch, Patina hired Diana Cosme and Timothy Gocklin in 2022 to work in the Italy Pavilion, home to Tutto Italia and Via Napoli. This year, they were laid off and replaced with Italian cast members who they had to train. The international employees were sponsored by the Cultural Representative Program. Disney and Patina declined to comment for the Court Watch story. They submitted a motion to dismiss the lawsuit in September. According to Patina, Cosme and Gocklin were only hired as temporary employees. The pair claim in the lawsuit that this was a surprise to them when they read it in their termination letters. Patina also said rolling terminations were determined by seniority. In their motion to dismiss, Disney and Patina cited an earlier lawsuit from Manesh Gupta, a cast member from India who sued Disney because he was told he could not work in the Norway Pavilion because he was not Norwegian. Disney won that case back in 2013. Disney also notes that Cosme and Gocklin were not technically Disney employees, but third-party employees. The original lawsuit argues that they followed Disney rules, wore Disney costumes, and carried Disney ID cards. There's a lot wrong in this story, right? I hate to be this guy, and I don't like Patina Restaurant Group very much because I think they treat their people poorly and their food quality is sometimes very iffy. But nonetheless, I'm on the Disney and Patina side here, right? I know for a fact everyone that was hired in that period knew that if and when the international program people came back, they would not keep their jobs at those locations. They certainly knew that. So that should not be a surprise. And secondly, you knew you weren't working directly for Disney. You had very different benefits. You're very much aware you did not directly work for the Walt Disney Company. Because you worked for a third party and had to wear a name tag and a costume does not make you a Disney cast member. So Disney should not be listed in the lawsuit. It has nothing to do with them. They didn't hire these people. They didn't fire them. They had nothing really to do with their employment other than that the restaurant is located on Disney World property. But nonetheless. Walt Disney World annual pass holders will have another opportunity to pick up complimentary Oswald and Figment magnets they may have missed. The missed magnet distribution will be at Disney's Animal Kingdom from December 6th through December 19th. The two magnets will be available at Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures at Animal Kingdom. The Disney 100 Oswald the Lucky Rabbit magnet was originally released in September, while Figment was released in May. Each pass holder must be present and show their valid ID card, their annual pass card, linked to Magic Band or Disney Magic Mobile Pass, and again, that government-issued ID. Limit of 1 magnet per pass holder while supplies last. Walt Disney World is sending annual pass holders a gift that keeps on giving this holiday season. It's wrapping paper and gift tags. There's nothing pass holders need to do to receive the free items. They should arrive in your mailbox any day now, but if you've been a pass holder as long as I have, you're probably skeptical as to if you're going to receive it. We'll see what happens. The envelope resembles a present wrapped in a red ribbon and features Minnie, Oswald, Figment, Dumbo, and Timothy Q. Mouse, as well as Spike the Bee on the front. And on the back is Mickey, Hortensia, and Orange Bird. These same characters are featured on the 2 sheets of wrapping paper inside. One sheet features the characters enjoying a frozen lake and snowy hills, ice skating, and sledding. The other wrapping paper is light blue with an all-over pattern of snowflakes in the characters' faces, except Spike the Bee, whose full body is pictured because he's small. There are 4 sticker gift tags, each with to and from sections featuring a Walt Disney World park icon. There's Cinderella Castle and the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror and snow globes, while Spaceship Earth and the Tree of Life just have snowflakes on them. This past Wednesday's legislative meeting that included a bill about Reedy Creek was a yearly opportunity for citizens to address elected representatives, but half of the 14 delegates did not attend the full session. 3 Republicans and 1 Democrat did not show up, while 3 other Republicans walked out before the lunch break. Orlando Sentinel reached Senator Baxley by phone, who said the Reedy Creek bill had nothing to do with his decision to leave. This whole idea that some people are not to be included is disturbing when you are duly elected, he said. We are equal, but some are more equal than others. I don't like that. The Democrats who remained voted 7-0 to advance the bill, but discovered that with so many members missing, they didn't have a quorum and that the vote was invalid. Democratic Representative Anna Eskamani chairs the delegation. She said of the lawmakers walking out, it's disrespectful to the staff who spent hours preparing for this meeting and to the more than 100 members of the public who signed up to speak. I can only assume this was less about delegation rules and more about Republican lawmakers not wanting to take a vote on restoring Reedy Creek. Senator Stewart said the walkout won't stop her from introducing her bill. They haven't discouraged me or derailed me yet. They can't stop me. The delegation plans to consider the bill again and elect new officers next week. Stewart told WESH 2 on the RCID and CFTOD situation, I'm very fired up because I'm sick of it. There's no transparency, she said about the new CFTOD board of supervisors, of only one of whom lives in the Orlando area. Quote, they don't live here. The employees, the morale of the employees, they just love what's going on. They do not, she continued. The fact that they can't just do anything they want to do and be supported by the governor is wrong. Regarding her bill, which she revealed last week, Stewart said, you can't stand up and complain all the time and not do anything. When asked how confident she was that the bill would get passed on a scale of 1 to 10, she said 5. I'm in the middle. She hopes introducing the bill will get people talking and thinking. The 3 Republican lawmakers who did not attend Wednesday's meeting were Representatives Carolina Amnesty, Susan Placencia, and Paula Stark. Eskamani said Amnesty had a family emergency, Stark was sick, and Placencia did not give a reason. Democratic Representative Bruce Antone missed the meeting because he was at a conference. The 60-day legislative session will begin on January 9th, 2024. So, I know this stuff gets very confusing. So essentially, they're trying to introduce a bill to just restore Reedy Creek at this point, because I think a majority of people agree that it's gone on long enough. It's all been nonsense. Let's just get things back to where they were. And of course, there's a lot of people that don't even want to necessarily vote on it. But I think the day will come where they kind of have to. So we will keep you in the loop as more information becomes available. An opening day land at Disneyland Park in 1955, Tomorrowland was conceptualized as an area that could capture the potential of tomorrow, a place Walt Disney described as a step into the future with predictions of constructive things to come. And one constructive thing that's been created since the land's opening is the internet, which was seemingly not consulted when crafting the historical plaques that were installed on the construction walls surrounding the Astro Orbiter at Disneyland Park. The new decorations contain fun facts about the different versions of this ride all around the world, but some of the information printed about the Magic Kingdom attraction in particular, some of those things are incorrect. Work walls were placed around the Astro Orbiter earlier this week. You may remember we talked about this. This refurb will stretch into next year. These plaques weren't there yet. These were added a couple days later. But again, one plaque focuses on the Magic Kingdom version of the ride. And it suggests that the Astro Orbiter, the current version, opened in 1995 as a reimagining of the Starjets. And it says that Starjets was an opening day attraction. Both of those are wrong. The Starjets did not, in fact, open with the park. It opened in November of 1974 as part of the second phase, which eventually led to the addition as well of the Carousel of Progress, Space Mountain, and the People Mover. Meanwhile, the Astro Orbiter opened with the redesign, the reimagining of Tomorrowland into the future that never was in 1994. It was April of 94, in fact. The Magic Kingdom plaque is the only one with inaccuracies. All the other ones, the ones about Orbitron, and all the other versions are all correct. Magic key holders will be able to pick up a complimentary Wish poster at Disneyland Resort next week from December 4th through December 8th. The horizontal poster features concept art of Asha, Valentino, and Star from Wish, the newest Disney animated film. Magic key holders can pick up the poster during regular operating hours from the 4th through the 8th, while supplies last at 3 locations. There's Disneyana in Disneyland Park, the Studio Store at California Adventure, and the Wonderground Gallery in the downtown Disney District. A limit of 1 per Magic key holder. Disneyland Hotel at the Disneyland Resort has debuted new key cards featuring a retro design inspired by the hotel's mid-century architecture and design. The front of the key card is the Disneyland Hotel wordmark on a blue rectangle, and around that are squares, diamonds, circles, and triangles in shades of blue, yellow, orange, and white. The back has the standard key card information, but this leans into, again, the history of the Disneyland Resort and the Disneyland Hotel in particular, and it kind of matches in some ways the new DVC building. During a conversation with Andrew Ross Sorkin at the New York Times Dealbrook Summit on Wednesday, Disney CEO Bob Iger addressed the company's ongoing legal battle with Ron DeSantis, but also they talked about Disney's presence in China, which DeSantis has previously criticized. Regarding Disney's business prospects in China, Iger said he's optimistic about Shanghai Disney Resort, and there are plans to expand relatively soon. He's talking about the city of Zootopia, perhaps, which opens next month. But he continued, if you're asking me whether I'm as optimistic as I once was about growing our business in China, the answer would be no. I think it's pretty obvious that issues between our countries' tensions have had an impact on our business, not just Disney's, but on other companies as well. I guess there's to some extent additional risk associated with Shanghai Disney Resort, but not all the capital that we put in is ours. We have a partner there. And so some of the risk is shared with a local entity. I'm not losing sleep over the risks that we're taking there at this point. But again, I think I'm somewhat sobered about the prospects of our company and other companies long term. This is usually where I'd have a whole rant about Shanghai Disney. But Eric and I actually, this is the topic of our podcast for next week, the WDW News Today podcast on Tuesday. Tune in. We're going to talk about Disney in China. I'm going to talk not just about what it means for the company to be in business there, what it's meant since day one, what it means now, but also talk in depth about having visited both the Hong Kong Disneyland, which is technically now part of China, although I know many people that live there and myself aren't fans of that, but also visiting Shanghai Disney. We'll talk about all that, and it's a tough topic, but I think we're going to tackle it in a very effective way. So tune in for that on Tuesday on the show, which does air right here on this channel or wherever you get podcasts from. You can find it as well. Speaking of Hong Kong Disneyland, let's talk about World of Frozen. If you haven't noticed, on WDWNT.com this week, they've been catching up, posting a number of our food reviews and more from the World of Frozen. So you can go read those all there, but there's also a number of videos now available right here on the channel that you could watch. There's my honest review, where for over an hour, I break down everything that is in the land and how it relates to other Disney parks around the world, including right here at Walt Disney World. There's also a 1-hour review where I eat every single last food item and drink every drink, for that matter, in the World of Frozen at Hong Kong Disneyland. And on top of all that, we have plenty of POV videos. We have the Playhouse in the Woods show. We have Frozen Ever After. We have day and nighttime POVs of Wandering Oak and Sliding Sleighs. We have my interactions with Mossy, the baby troll, which has been the breakout star of the land. All that and much more. A daytime and nighttime tour of the full land that's over a half hour long. All of that's right here on the channel. Please go check it out. Jumping over to the other park on that side of the world, Shanghai Disney Resort has shared previews of souvenirs and merchandise that are coming to the new City of Zootopia land, opening at the park on December 20th. The Sipper depicts a young Nick Wilde peeking over a giant popsicle The stick of the popsicle hides the straw and has the Zootopia wordmark on it, and it includes a strap. The popcorn bucket resembles the Hops family farm stand that's seen in Zootopia, with Judy and 2 of her family members at the window with carrots. The bucket opens at the top and includes a strap. Other merchandise in the preview includes a coffee tumbler featuring Nick Wilde in his police uniform and a Fox-inspired silicone holder. There will be Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps hats, as you might imagine, as well as a pullover hoodie featuring the characters. There will also be Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps badge keychains. For the absolute latest on all these stories and those that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to all of our WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. Real quick, I want to plug Carousel of Products at carouselproducts.com. I think we have just small and large sizes of the Gertie shirt left. There's like 13 shirts left, so go grab them. But if you're looking for a last-minute gift for someone that either watches this channel or is just a Disney Parks fan, we have a great selection of stuff, and some of it very deeply discounted right now over at carouselproducts.com. So please go check that out. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
From WDWNT TV, this is Park Center. Join us each week for news and discussion topics from the Disney and Universal theme parks around the world. We cover the stories in a quick, concise, and fun format, and then our panel breaks down and debates some of the biggest issues and what they mean for us, the parks fans. From the latest announcements to openings and delays to scandals and snacks and merchandise and more, we'll cover it all in 90 minutes. Join us live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at WDWNT TV, or watch episodes on demand anytime. You can also subscribe to the audio version of the show on your favorite podcast app.